Greetings, I'm Iya Oya Mayowa. Wow, this has been great. Lots of valuable information has been shared on how spirituality can heal the body. So I encourage you to use all of what you can to help you navigate all that you wish to navigate. Thank you for joining us in this segment, and let's continue to move through our Babaluaiye Healing Ritual experience. Asheo!
Greetings, everyone. Babaluaiye. My name is Ifa Korede. I am an Ifa priest, teacher, Yoruba language and cultural enthusiast. I do a lot of spiritual work in the community, and I also do a lot of online workshops, events, classes, things like that. If you want to find out more, follow me on my Instagram first at Oriire, Oriire, or on my website, IamOriire.com. So when it comes to this whole topic of healing, right, what I specifically want to talk about is how our Egbe Orun, our heavenly mates, play a role in our spiritual and physical health. So I'm going to chant two of my own personal Odu. My Odu from Hana Ifa, right, and my Odu from Ifa initiation. So first, my Odu from Hana Ifa, Utura Meji. Ifa says, Akudu Mangbele, Dia fún eré ayé, ó ń bọ̀wọ̀ kan fún tọ̀run, ẹbọ ni Ifá ní kó ṣe, ẹ̀kúrú àkàrà tí mo jẹ, ìyá mi ti sán, àkùrù máa ń gbẹ́lẹ́, máma kú dẹ̀gbẹ́nu, àkùrù máa ń gbẹ́lẹ́, ìrà ikú, ìrà ajé, ìrà aya, ìrà ọkọ, ìrà ọmọ, ìrà ìṣẹ́gun ọ̀tá tí mo jẹ, ìyá mi ti sán, àkùrù máa ń gbẹ́lẹ́, máma kú dẹ̀gbẹ́nu, àkùrù máa ń gbẹ́lẹ́. The second verse that I'm going to chant, and we'll discuss it, comes from my Ifa initiation Odu. Ifa says, Bí òjòjò, bí òjòjò, bí òtútù, bí rínrín, díá fún rínrín tí ń sọmọ ajá láyé, díá fún òtútù tí ń sọmọ ajá níwárán, ẹbọ ni wọ́n ní wọ́n ó ṣe, ẹ̀rọ̀ pọ̀ ẹ̀rọ̀ fà, ẹ̀yin ò rí òtútù bí ti mú rínrín lọ. We're going to come back and talk about what each of those verses means and how it relates to this whole topic of healing. But first, let's make sure everyone has a good foundational understanding of what Egbe Orun is, right? So Egbe Orun just means heavenly group or heavenly mates, right? The word Egbe just means group or like your peers, your mates, right? Orun is the spiritual realm or heaven, right? Not exactly in the Christian sense, but this is the spiritual realm, the abode of all the divinities and the deities, right? So to really understand this topic, let's take it back to before we are born. Every single human being starts off in Orun, the spiritual realm, before they are born, and they, come to earth, born through their mother, right? And there's many things that happen in preparation for every human being to be born. We know many of them. Batala molds our body out of a special clay. The Creator breathes life into that body and animates it. We choose our Ori, which is essentially choosing our destiny. But there's one important step, right? We each have a spiritual double that we split away from, right? And we call this Anikeji Orun, right? Which literally means like our heavenly double, right? So every human being, you're born, you go to earth, your spiritual double stays in heaven. So we all exist in the physical plane, and we simultaneously have a spiritual double that exists in heaven, right? Now, just like we down here on earth don't sit and do nothing, right? We have social structure. We have relationships with each other. We're a part of groups, and we have different categories, right? The same is true for all of our spiritual doubles in heaven. They have complex relationships with each other. They interact with each other. They have groups, right? They have categories, right? And the collective of all of them, with all their structures and groups and categories and relationships, are what we call our Egbe Orun, right? Our heavenly mates, right? All of these, the collective of all these doubles in heaven, right? So it's like our people that we are close to in heaven, right? Why does all of this matter? How does this impact our lives as human beings? Well, in several ways. Number one, they say that the relationships we have down here mirror the relationships we have in heaven, in the spiritual realm. So if I'm close to someone here, it's because our spiritual doubles are also close. If I'm enemies with someone, it's because maybe we're also enemies in heaven. That's one way. Another way is that our egbe, they're spiritually elevated, right? Because they're in the spiritual realm. So they have powers, right? They're spiritually powerful, and they have the ability to bring us a lot of blessings and elevate us in life. So it's a major part of the tradition, right? We have shrines for egbe, right? Because again, they're different categories. So we have shrines which represent the different types of egbe, right? One category could be Iyalode. We have a shrine for Iyalode that we can go to and pray for blessings. We have a shrine for Jagun, which is another type of egbe that we can go to and pray for blessings. There are many types, right? So working with egbe is a very big part of our tradition. They're priests and priestesses of egbe, right? Another way, they communicate with us strongly in dreams and things like that, right? Now, those are many positive ways they can impact us. They can also create some difficulty in our lives, such as sometimes we've made pacts in heaven, such as having a spiritual husband or spiritual wife, and then we get here on earth, that spiritual husband or spiritual wife is making it difficult for us to have relationships, right? And some other ways. But this ties into those two verses, right? So the first verse that I chanted from Utura Meji Akuru Mangbele, that verse, right? This speaks about one of the positive impacts that our egbe can have on us in terms of healing, right? And in this verse, it speaks about someone who was so depressed, fed up with life. They were like, their mental health was not good, and they were ready to give it all up and end their life, right? And so in the beginning of the verse, it says, Diafun Eriaye Onbo Konfun Torun. So divination is performed for the egbe of the earth, which is us, and the egbe of heaven, the spiritual realm. I talked about we exist here and there, right? Ekuru akara timoje ya mitisan. Ekuru is like a type of food. Akara is another type of food. I think ekuru is made from beans. Akara is also made from beans, right? Timoje ya mitisan. So the ekuru and akara that I'm eating, my mother's paid for. Akuru mangbele mamaku degbenu. So this is where that person who was so fed up, ready to give up on life, and throw away, that's another part. They were ready to throw away their egbe shrine. They were so fed up with life and just end it. So it's saying, Mamaku degbenu, don't throw away your egbe and die, right? Akuru mangbele, then we say, Iraiku, Iraje, Iraya, Iraoko, Iraomo, Ishegonta. We're mentioning all types of blessings. Timoje, Ya, Mitison. Like all these blessings that I'll have is my mother that will pay for it, right? And so I believe this is referring to your egbe. So it's advising the person, don't, no matter how depressed, whatever mental state that you're in, ready to give up, don't throw away your egbe shrine and die, because it's your egbe that will uplift you and will fulfill your hopes and bring you all the blessings that maybe are causing you to be in this state of depression, right? So this is an example of how, sometimes when we're, and we're talking about mental health, right? This is how sometimes when we're in a very low state, right? There's many aspects of spiritual healing, but one aspect is that sometimes it's your egbe, right, that will uplift you and elevate you out of that state, right? So this is from my Odu, from my hand of Ifa. And, I've lived the experience of that Odu, and I was told to work closely with my egbe to uplift me and elevate me into a better mental state. So that's one aspect of healing. Now, let's talk about what the other verse that I chanted means. The verse that went, Bio Jojo, Bio Jojo, Bio Tutu, Bi Rinrin, Diafun Rintin Soma Jalaye, Diafun Tutu Tin Soma Ajani Waron. So this verse is speaking about someone who tends to get very sick all the time, catch colds, things like that, and they don't know why. But what's happening is their spiritual double in heaven is pulling on them, pulling them slightly back to the spiritual realm, and it makes them have these spells of sickness. And they need to work closely with their egbe to, clear away that type of sickness, right? And so sometimes the 5 verses are tricky to exactly translate word for word, but my understanding of this verse is that Riri is the person on earth, right? And Ututu, which means cold literally, is the spiritual double in heaven. And Ututu is pulling on Riri, like, come here. And when that happens, Riri starts to get sick and experience colds and things like that, right? So this is speaking about how our egbe can impact our health directly, right? Egbe can call people home early, right? Another aspect too is if someone is an abiku, right, which is a child who's born to die, like they were meant to come here and then go back home early. Sometimes that issue needs to be fixed through Egbe as well, right, to ensure that they're not called back to heaven early, right? So Egbe can pull people back to heaven early. This verse is an example of how our Egbe can even pull on us slightly and cause sickness and other, bodily issues, right? And so in this case, you could do as many healing rituals as you want, as many spiritual baths, this, that. But in this case, it's actually someone's egbe that need to be appeased, right? They need maybe egbe initiation, like in my case, and they need to work closely with their egbe to stop these flashes of cold and things like that, right? So we see the many ways that our egbe can be a source of healing, how our egbe can cause some, bodily health issues, and then can also be the source of solution and healing for that problem as well. So as I close out, my prayer for you is the prayer from the first verse that I chanted, right? That verse which talks about someone who's feeling so down, ready to give up, so defeated, so hopeless. So my prayer for you is that anyone who's watching this who feels like they're ready to give up in life, they don't know how they're going to do this, they don't know how they're going to do that, they're ready to just throw in the towel and call it quits, that your Egbe, right, your heavenly mates always support you. They always remind you that there is hope, right, and that they give you the blessings and the success that you are looking for in life.
I want to have us just take a moment to get settled into our bodies. You can find yourself either in a comfortable seated position, maybe you're on the couch, maybe you're at a table, wherever you are. Take a deep breath in, exhale it, soften the shoulders. Maybe you want to bring your hands to the heart to hold in some gratitude. Maybe you want to bring your hands to the lap to receive some gratitude. Or maybe, if willing or if able, maybe you want to put your hands on the floor next to you to ground yourself. Inhale and exhale. I want you to allow your breath to be like the waves at the shore. Let it come in and go out. Like the strong waves, the waves that our mothers use to birth us, I invite you to take a breath in and exhale. And let's take a moment in our bodies to be grateful for what we've been given, breathing in grateful gratitude for our toes and our feet that allow us to walk and step and dance and move. Gratitude for our legs, our shins, our calves, the knees, our thighs, our quads, our glutes that allow us to move, to walk, to sit, to lay. Continuing up in the body, check in with the core, the belly, maybe the chest and the back. Breathe in gratitude for that center of the body, the place that carries so much, the place that puts out energy for everything to work. Continue with the body. Breathe in gratitude for the shoulders, the arms, the elbows, those forearms, our palms and our fingers that allow us to touch, to hold, to embrace. Breathe in gratitude for the neck that holds up our head, holds up our ori. Breathe in gratitude for our beautiful faces, our mouths that let us smile, our noses that allow us to take in air. the cheeks that give us definition, our eyes that allow us to see, our ears that allow us to hear, and our head that carries us forward. Breathe in gratitude for the body. Exhale it. Take a moment here to yourself. Allow your Ori to guide you to what you need to reflect on for a moment. When you're ready, when the spirit moves you, we'll close with 3 breaths together. Take a breath for gratitude, gratitude for the body, and exhale it. Allow yourself to relax, to soften. Take a breath in of gratitude for the community we have, each other, and exhale it. And then let's close with gratitude for the mothers. Our mother's mother, her mother's mother, and all the mothers that hold our communities together. Take a breath in. And exhale it. Thank you, everyone.
Greetings, everyone. So happy to have you all here. I have my wonderful husband here, Baba Basanja, by my side, supporting me as today we take another walk on this journey. So today, as always, I like to get you connected. And with that, I ask that you sit back comfortably as we talk about Oya. Yes, near and dear to my heart, I am just growing this relationship with Oya. We are devotees of Oya, and we are thankful for that. I want to share with you a little bit more about Oya. This is something that I'm continually doing as a devotee of Oya, as a daughter of Oya, just wanting to know more about her and how she continues to enhance my and our lives together. I want to share that with you. So Oya is about change. And we know that life is always changing, and we're in a pivotal time of change right now, right in this time. May 5th, 2024. Change is happening left, right, and center. So my thought process is that we're always changing. We're not the same person we were yesterday, when we were 10 years old, last week, last month, whatever it may be. We are continually changing. Our bodies are continually changing. The atoms, the molecules, the cells, the tissues, the organs, everything is continually changing to support us. And it's interesting with change, it can be challenging to embrace the change. Sometimes we're like, we're ready, we're on board, but other times there may be some resistance. But we have to open ourselves up to accept change. I have a dear friend that I went to school with, massage school many years ago, older sister, and she always, you'd ask her, how's she doing? How are you doing? And she would say, ever changing, ever new. Ever changing, ever new. And to this day, every time I see her, I don't see her often, but I remind her of that because that just really, it hit home. It was like, yeah, ever changing, ever new. So with that being said, Oya is about change. Oya is about embracing the change. And Oya
is known to be ferocious, more ferocious than Shango, her husband. But there's an element of Oya that, may nudge you along and say, okay, you need to change. But then there comes a point, it's like, look, I told you, you didn't listen.
Mhm.
And so another quote I like to share is change before you have to. And sometimes we get the signs and we're just, moseying along, not really, I can't hear you. But then there comes a point, all right, Oya says, come on, come on. So we have to be mindful of that, and we have to embrace that, and we have to understand that change is beautiful, change is inevitable. And so what are we going to do to make the changes that we want for ourselves, for our lives, for our community, how we're showing up, mastering ourselves, coming from the best part of ourselves. Our beloved Bukor Iya Marie always talks about that. Come from the best part of yourself. And I'm like, okay, and the best today may not have been the best from yesterday, but we're gonna put our best feet forward. So I encourage you, whatever the changes that you're encountering, the change that you want within yourself, it's up to you. It's up to you. Those things that you dwell on, that you're thinking about, that you want to do or you're trying to do and you're longing to do, it's up to you. We have Oya, we have Shango, we have the Orisha, we have Ifa, but as Maya Angelou says, nothing will work unless you do. So you have to do the work. You have to do your part. And when you do your part, the Orisha, our Oris, the ancestors, they are there ready, willing to help us. Ready, willing to help us, but we have to do, and we have to be mindful of what we're thinking, what we're saying, how we're showing up. We always want to strive to take the high road. Take the high road. You may encounter individuals that are, they're not vibing on the high road, but you're going to rise above. You're going to practice Iwa Pele, and you're going to take the high road because you will succeed in focusing on flourishing and prospering and doing good. So with that being said, Oya is the wind, and Oya can bring forth change, and it's beautiful. Oya is a beautiful Orisha, and I'm loving this journey of getting to know her more and more each day. I'm going through a process right now, and I'm sitting at the feet of Oya. Not only am I praying, but I was reminded I need to listen. So I'm listening to Oya. I'm wanting to do what it is I need to do, finding the courage, the strength, the fortitude, the resilience, the persistence, and I encourage you to do the same. Do the same. Bring forth the change. Ever changing, ever new. Ever changing, ever new. So focus on the things you want, not the things that you don't want. Oya and Shango were husband and wife, and Shango saw something in Oya that was just like, this woman is, a force to be reckoned with, a force to be reckoned with. There was a time when I guess Oya and Shango were married, and I think they went to battle, and, Shango goes to battle by himself, but this particular time they went together, and when they came back, they were cheering and saying, oh yeah, Shango, destroyed how many individuals, but Oya had destroyed that many more. And that's when Shango was like, okay, this woman is serious. This woman does not play. And as I said before, Shango usually goes to battle by himself, but when the heavyweight is needed, he sends Oya before him to take care of business. And that's exactly what she does. That's exactly what she does. She does not play. They both stand for truth, for justice, for order. If you're not doing the right thing, they have to go to cities and just, you weren't living correct. You weren't practicing your Iwa Pele. And so they paid the consequence for that. But again, it's not to fear Oya, but to be in reverence and to understand that change is inevitable. Change is needed. We don't want to be who we were 10 years ago. we're more seasoned now. We're more knowledgeable now.
Yeah.
We're growing still now, but it's all beautiful. It's all beautiful. And sometimes, the lessons, we got to keep repeating the class, but it's okay. You hope that you'll get the lessons, you'll move forward, you'll learn, you'll do things that are, in your best interest and for the best interests of others. So Oya is of strength, of courage. If that's what you need, if you need help, reach out to her. Reach out to this spiritual practice that we have to help you to move forward, to do what you need to do in a beautiful way, in a courageous way. Even when you think, oh, I don't know if I can do this, just summon up that courage, summon up that strength. You don't know unless you try. And so you must move forward. You must do your best each and every time to do what it is you need to do. And to know that we have this community here to help you. We have tools, we have divinations, we have services available to help you do what you need to do to transform your life.
Shit.
Don't ever feel like you're alone, because you're not. We have our community here. We have our families. We have our mothers, whether they're physically here, whether they're not. We have those who are mothering us, those who we are mothering, things that we are mothering to grow and to cultivate and to excel.
Shit.
That mothering energy is here for all of us. It's here to help us. It's here to nurture us in a way that only mothers can. So with that, call forth that energy, call forth that strength, call forth that beauty in yourself that is there. Yes, you, beautiful people. That's you. I'm talking to you, each and every one of you. Come forth and just express that strength, express that courage, express that knowing, that connection, that faith, that trust, that walk. And even might feel like sometimes you're like, you might be walking, you might be running, you might be crawling, whatever it is, just keep your eye on the prize and know that it is within you. It is destined for you to do well, destined for you to succeed, destined for you to rise above and flourish and prosper, to stand tall, erect, and unafraid.
Shit.
Tall, erect, and unafraid. So call on the Orisha, call on Oya, call on all of the divinities to assist you as we navigate change, as we move through this time where there is oppression of people all over this planet. Let us stand up for truth. Let us support these students and these individuals that are fighting for change, whether it's in Africa, whether it's wherever it is, because it's right here in our communities, right here in our cities, in our neighborhoods. Things are happening that are unjust. So let us stand for truth. Let us stand for justice. Let us move forward and do that. I feel so strongly about this. I feel that it's not just talking about it, but taking action and steps to do the things that we need to do. I'm saying it to myself, I'm saying it to you. And you can talk, but do is a whole different ballgame, right? And to do it consistently and to do it well and to do it with integrity, it's like a process. So I give thanks to Oya. I give thanks for this journey. I feel that Oya has helped me tremendously and continues to help me to navigate day-to-day life, help me to learn, help me to be humble. I sit at her feet and I say thank you. I say thank you, and I just pray that I can continue to continue to learn lessons, continue to blossom, and I encourage you to do the same. I encourage you to. I'm sorry.
So, no, go ahead.
Oh, I thought he said something. Ile I, I heard, so I was but help Ile help us all, because the help is available here for us to move us forward in a very positive way. Oya governs the wind. Oya's color is maroon. And I am just so thankful for this journey and for this process and growing and learning and developing more courage and more confidence and more spiritual connection. I'm so excited about the journey. I'm so excited about learning and how it's transforming and blossoming within my life.
Can you do the chant for Oya?
I definitely can do the chant for Oya.
Invocation.
The invocation. So I'm going to share that with you now. And then I'll share a little bit about what it says. All right. You want to join me?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Oya dolwe garoyen. Oya dolwe garoyen. Egan kope koyen moshe don. Oya dolwe garoyen. Shango tirogun oya she. Shango tirogun oya she. La lege ola are ni oje. Moni shegrabo moni kirun. Oya dolwe ganroyen. Oya dolwe ganroyen. Egan kope koyen moshe don. Oya dolwe ganroyen. So that is the invocation to Oya. It speaks of Oya being priceless. Oya being the tall, slender one. Oya who is beautiful, who is moving us forward, and how spite does not diminish the sweetness of honey.
Shit.
Let me repeat that. Spite does not diminish the sweetness of honey. So with that being said, take the high road, embrace the change, the ups and downs, the ins and outs. It's a part of life. Accept it and embrace it and move through the change and bring forth the change that you want within your life, within your family, within your home, within your community, within your workplace, whatever it is, within your relationship with your children, your significant other. If you want a significant other, just embrace the change. So thank you so much for allowing me to share. Thank you for, just listening. And I hope that there's something in what I said today that resonates with you, that you can take with you this day, this week, this month, this year, this life, that will fortify you and shore you up. Blessings, blessings, and more blessings to you all.
Ashe.
Ashe.